Hi, my name is Michael. I'm 24, a budding film director. And I'm a furry. Okay, so I know what you're asking. Michael, what the hell is a furry? Well, let me tell you. Have you ever watched Looney Tunes or those Walt Disney movies where the animals talk? Well, those are furries. Well, to be more exact, they're anthropomorphic characters. Animals with human characteristics. But I'm a guy, you saw me before, right? Well, in the world of the internet, I'm part of a huge community where we like to go on and roleplay, draw, or write stories about these furry characters. Some people like to go to big conventions and meets and dress up as their characters too. So, we are an international internet community known as furries. As for why people decide to be furries, well, everyone's got their own story to tell.
Got into college on a cheerleader scholarship, and after every game we had a party. I talked to the team's mascot and he invited me to this furry meeting at a coffee shop. That's where I learned about it.
Well, I enjoyed cartoons like SWAT Cats, Mighty Ducks, Road Rovers, and the countless Disney and Warner Brothers cartoons that featured anthro animals. So I suppose it makes sense that I became a fan that far back.
So furry has always been my chosen profession, and my interest in the community in the early 2000s was to finally have contact with other people who work in the area of fantasy.
At first, it was just a character, but I felt the change, even in prayer. I realized how it was becoming a part of me.
This is my character. His name is Halfeb Jones. He's a dingo and a pretty cool guy. But why did I choose a dingo? Well, I've always had an affinity with dogs and I'm Australian. Just seemed natural. In the world of furries, you can be any creature you want, mythical or real. And everyone has their own reasons for choosing their animals.
Well, high school mascot was a wolf. It was the thing that got me started on the fandom. It was the only one that stuck out.
I share a lot of mannerisms of being a cat. Also, the mountain lion is an animal I see when I focus on my primal side. And it's also an animal that used to be abundant in my ancestral homeland of the Cherokee.
Rabbits are shy but cute and loving. That's who I am on the inside. I became a bunny to express my inner self.
I was born and raised in the southwestern U.S., a region that is where coyotes are most commonly found. So, that's why I chose to become a coyote.
I feel my inner spirit is a timber wolf, so there's a spiritual connection.
So, we know there are furries out there, and there are all sorts of creatures. Great, and not so great. Now, let me throw some terminology at you. The character you make when you're online, this persona, online, it's known as your fursona. Yeah, see what we did there? Pretty clever, hey? Okay, here's the next one for you. Those suits you see people wear when they're dressed up in their character, we call them fursuits. And the people inside, they're fursuiters. I'll give you a bit more terminology later on, but that's good for starters. Now, we've seen why people join, but the furry community gives much more than just an outlet for personal creativity. Everyone gets something different out of it.
I meet cool people and I feel myself, so it makes sense of belonging.
So it's that remarkably useful means of being yourself by being something different that I find to be the most attractive about the community.
I mostly think it's a lot of fun. If it wasn't fun, I wouldn't be here.
Now I've got to tell you, for a group of people, although seeming fairly strange yet harmless, there is a lot of hate out there for these poor furries. Why are we so hated? Well, it comes down to three little letters. S, E, and X. Sex. Or, as it's called in the furry community, yiffing. But unlike the hokey pokey, that's not what it's all about.
I think it lags behind things like collecting, personal creativity, and socialization.
It's something I'd be lying if I said I didn't enjoy, but I can be quite happy at a furry community without it.
I honestly don't think it deserves the attention it gets.
Okay, but it's just sex, right? I mean, why would people get so upset? Well, in the past, we've been depicted as sex-crazed maniacs. However, the thing we get accused of a lot and hated for the most is the thought that all furries often take part in bestiality.
Holy shit, sorry for the curse, but anyone who forces themselves on an animal needs to have their penis cut off. That's called rape, my friend, and rape, whether it's done to anyone or anything, is wrong.
It sickens me. I hate to hear it, as it kills a lot of the credibility of furries being a true subculture.
I think it's disgusting. You wouldn't see me doing that crap.
I for one agree that bestiality is wrong and it's against the law. If you know of anyone committing the act of bestiality, you should not hesitate to call the police or RSPCA or even your local animal shelter. There will be someone there willing to take this poor animal away from these deprived people. Now, although we are thought to commit these acts, it isn't helped that popular media has in the past given us some bad press. And although the press is getting better these days, have things like the CSI episode giving furries a bad image left a permanent scar on the furry community?
I have that episode on my computer. It showed a clear picture of what some cons have, and I'm not going to lie and say people don't do it.
But the CSI episode was just hilarious. It exposed some of the problems we face.
So many furs have learned to shrug off the bad press. And even though we've had people try to perpetrate the hate, we've learned to shrug that off too. We learn and we grow as a community, giving each other support, and even tough love when it's needed. We all pull together out of a common thing that we all believe in, and what we all know to be furry.
You know when you hear a wolf pack howl, and some people freeze in fear, and you just laugh and howl back? That primal joy you feel in your heart and soul, that's the heart of being of a furry being.
In the end, we're not a bad group of people. We're just a community that likes to go online and pretend to be part animal. Now, I'm not going to say that people don't go around doing the things that furries are accused of, because there's evidence to say they do. However, what I will say is this. We as people cannot keep perpetrating hate. Because if we do, not just to furries, but to everyone, we're going to end up destroying ourselves. So, maybe if we have a little bit more love and tolerance, that's not such a bad way to start a new world.
Whoa!
That's a big log.
On YouTube, and this guy.
Wow.
How do I know if I have them?
They've been trained to work.
I think I've only ever seen African elephants before.
Elephant butt.
Elephant sheath.
Isn't it so cute?
Just get in the atmosphere.
It's cold! Know your place. It's the sex battle.